Oh.
All right, everyone, we're just waiting for the juror. Okay,
The deputy outside said,
okay.
that's what, because the officers, I told the officers that we were waiting on a juror, and they just texted me, your juror's here. Yeah, we should probably try to get it in. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know you were given an oath. Oh, everyone, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you all were given an oath downstairs, but this is a specific oath for this specific case. So if you all could raise your right hand for me, please. Do each of you solemnly swear that in the case of the state of Texas versus Dominique Nicholson, you will a true verdict render according to the law and the evidence, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes. All right, you can lower your hand. State.
True bill of indictment. In the name and by authority of the state of Texas, the grand jury of Bexar County, state of Texas, duly organized and paneled and sworn as such at the November term AD 2022 of the 175th Judicial District Court of said county, in said court, at said term, do present in and to said court that in the county and state aforesaid and anterior to the presentment of this indictment. Count one. On or about the 10th day of October 2022, Dominic Nicholson, hereinafter referred to as defendant, did use and exhibit a deadly weapon, namely a firearm, and defendant did intentionally and knowingly threaten imminent bodily injury to Jayla Satterwhite, hereinafter referred to as complainant, by shooting at and in the direction of the complainant with said deadly weapon. Count two. On or about the 10th day of October 2022, Dominic Nicholson did then and there intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly carry a handgun on or about his own person, and the defendant was prohibited from possessing a firearm under section 46.04A of the Texas Penal Code, in that at the time of the commission of the charged offense, the defendant had been previously convicted of the felon's offense of assault family household member impeding breath/circulation on 29th of January 2013 in cause number D/1/DC-12-904040 in the 427th District Court of Travis County, Texas, and the defendant's possession of the firearm occurred before the 5th anniversary of the defendant's release from confinement or from supervision under community supervision, or from supervision under parole, or from supervision under mandatory supervision following conviction of the felony against the peace and dignity of the state.
All right, with regards to counts one, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
And with regards to count two, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, you may be seated. State, do you have any opening statements?
We do, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
In just a few moments, you're going to hear from Jayla. Jayla, oh, do not. Okay. Just a few moments, you're going to hear from Jayla. Jayla is a 21-year-old young woman who on October 10th of 2022 was only 18 years old. And she was just trying to live her life and go to work. She worked at Ulta. She didn't have a car, so she was Ubering to get to work every day. This wasn't out of the norm. And on October 10th of 2022, she orders the Uber, gets in, and bang. Loud pops. She turns around and sees the defendant with his arm raised, gun in hand, and then sees him starting to walk forward and shoot some more. And you'll hear from her, she's terrified. She ducks on the floorboard of the car, screaming and pleading at the Uber driver to please go, just drive. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. This is my stepdad, just drive, I'm sorry. At 18 years old. The Uber driver does his ass, he takes off. And a little bit later down the way, they get a flat tire because a bullet had penetrated the tire and caused it to go flat. Now, while all of that is going on, you're also going to hear later on in this trial from Jarius. This is the defendant's stepson and Jayla's brother. Jarius was upstairs in his bedroom on the phone with his older sister when he hears pop, 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 pop. And he goes and looks out his window to see what's going on. And he'll tell you everything that he saw there. You're also gonna hear from Deborah, who hears pop, 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 pop. She doesn't know what's going on, but she calls 911 because she knows what she heard. Then you're gonna hear from Juan. He was driving home from picking up groceries on his honey-do list for the wife, Deborah. And he hears and sees everything that happens on that street. And he'll be able to tell you what he saw. As 911 calls were made, officers respond to the scene. You're going to hear from Marina Rodriguez, who is the first officer on the scene. And she's really just trying to get control of the people there, and she'll tell you all about her involvement in this case. She does talk to everyone involved. Also, you're going to hear from Officer Jay Rodriguez. He comes on the scene to assist and to cover in Rodriguez. You're going to hear from Deputy Tibbs. He is what's called the crime scene investigator. He takes all the pictures, collects the evidence. You'll hear from him as well. We do have some experts in this case. You're going to hear from Leslie, you're going to hear from Pendleton, who is a firearms expert, and he'll tell you about his involvement with the ballistics from the projectiles that were found in the Uber driver's car from the flat tire. You're also going to hear from Leslie. She is a gunshot residue expert, and I will let her take care of the science and explaining to you what that is and when you may or may not have it. Lastly, you're going to hear from Investigator Guzman. Investigator Guzman was the lead investigator on this case, and he's going to walk you through his investigation from start to finish. You are going to hear that throughout this investigation, he was looking for a guy in a white shirt, as some of the people had pointed him out, not as a shooter, but just as someone who may have been involved. Most importantly, no one points to this guy as being the shooter because we know who the shooter is from Jayla, Jarius, and Juan, who saw everything happen. And they point to the defendant, Dominic Nicholson, as the one who shot at Jayla. At the end of this trial, and after you have heard all of the evidence in this case, we are going to ask you to find the defendant guilty for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, for threatening bodily injury against Jayla. We're going to ask you to find him guilty for felon in possession of a firearm, as these witnesses put a firearm in his hand. And you will hear from a fingerprints expert who will link up his prior convictions to him.
All right, defense, any opening statements?
Your Honor, I reserve my opening at this time.
Right. State, you may call your first witness.
State calls Jayla Sadie White.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you'll state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
Jayla first name and Sattiewhite.
All right, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hi, Jayla, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
I'd like to take a few minutes and just introduce yourself to the jury. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, and are you in school at all?
I just graduated from college in October.
This October?
Oh, yeah, this past October.
And then just some rules of testifying. If I'm talking, if you can't hear me, ask me to repeat myself. But then also just wait for me to finish my question before you start answering, okay?
Okay.
So you just finished cosmetology school?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you plan to do?
Hopefully get into a salon soon. I took my first day test and I passed it, so I just have to take my second in February and then I can start applying to salon jobs.
Okay. I would like to take you back to October 10th of 2022.
Mhm.
Can you tell me at that time where you were living?
In Commerce, Texas, 8619 Key Northway to be exact, that was my address.
8619 Key Northway?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that in San Antonio or
Oh, yeah, it's in San Antonio, Commerce.
and is that still Bear County?
Yeah, it's still Bear County.
What type of residence was that?
It was a house, it was 3 bedrooms and it was 2 stories.
Where was your bedroom?
It was kind of towards like the back right of the house, like next to my restroom,
On the first or second floor?
second floor, sorry.
Okay. Were all the bedrooms on the second floor?
Yes, ma'am.
Um. So around that date, October 10th of 2022, who was living in the household?
It was me, my brother, my sister, my mom, and Dominic.
And how do you know Dominic?
He was married to my mom. So, husband.
Do you know his last name?
Mickelson?
And do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you point him out by an article of clothing that he's wearing?
White button-up shirt.
Your Honor, if the record could reflect the fact that witness has identified the defendant. Okay, Jayla, when did Dominic come into your life?
I would say maybe around the time I was 15, when I was a freshman in high school, I believe, around that time.
When you were a freshman in high school, were you still living at the 8619 Key Northway?
Yes, ma'am.
And when can you tell me how he began to live with you?
My mom and dad had separated, and when my mom moved from an apartment to a house, he moved into the house with my mom. And then all of us were just living together, him and my siblings and my mom.
And that was when you were a freshman?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what year that would have been?
Maybe 2017, 2018, maybe around that time.
So from 2017, 2018 to 2022, y'all were living at the 8619 Key Northway.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to take and talk to you specifically about October 10th, 2022. What time did you wake up that morning?
Maybe around 9 a.m., kind of early that day.
What kind of stuff were you doing? Or
I took a shower, I had to get ready for work, so I showered, I did my makeup. I think I might have made breakfast, I don't really remember, but just like my regular routine, taking a shower, getting ready.
what time did you go to work that day?
I believe I had to be there at 1 or 2 that day, around that time.
On October 10th, who was in the household when you woke up?
It was my mom, my brother, and Dominic. My sister wasn't there, I think she spent the night somewhere else that day, or the night prior.
So as you woke up, everyone's at home except for your sister.
Yes.
How do you typically get to work?
Uber, because I don't drive still, and I didn't drive at the time. And I lived in Converse, and where I worked was about 30 minutes out, so usually for my mom or anybody could give me a ride.
And on October 10th of 2022, could anyone give you a ride?
No, ma'am.
So did you call an Uber?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall about what time you called that Uber?
Maybe around, I guess it depends when I'm leaving that day, because I usually call it like 30 minutes before I have to be at work, so if I went at 1 that day, maybe 12:30, about 12:30-ish.
Now, from 9 to 12:30, did you have any interaction with the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
And without getting into what anybody said or anything, what interaction did you have?
My mom
I would
had,
object to relevance.
Right, what is the relevance?
Maybe
Your Honor,
approach,
Yes.
Let me read. Did you talk to Dominic that day without saying what anybody said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How soon before you ordered the Uber were you talking with the defendant?
There was maybe a 15-minute like period in between when the conversation ended and when I like ordered my Uber.
So after the conversation ended and you ordered your Uber, did you have any more interaction with the defendant between in that 15 minutes?
No, ma'am.
So how are you notified that the Uber is ready?
I get an alert on my phone that tells me like when they're nearby or when they've arrived. It notifies me.
And on October 10th of 2022, how were you notified, or when were you notified?
Well, when it was like 2 minutes away and it notified me that it was closed, and that's when like I had to get ready, and then that's when I went downstairs and got ready to get in it.
And when you were going downstairs, did you see the defendant in the house at all?
No,
To your knowledge, do you know if he was in the house and you just didn't see him?
I guess that could be possible. I just didn't see him when I was walking out.
So as you were walking out the door and you get outside, where were you standing?
Like in my driveway.
And how long were you outside before the Uber driver pulled up?
Maybe like a minute or two, not too long, because he was already pushing.
Who was outside, if anyone, while you were waiting?
I didn't see anyone out there while I was waiting.
And Your Honor, at this time, the state would ask to use the overhead.
Yes,
You could just leave.
Yes. and both sides move throughout the courtroom without asking permission and defense. You can follow the state to the overhead. Okay.
Jayla, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 1 and 2. Do you recognize these documents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do they fairly and accurately depict, I'm sorry, what do you recognize them as?
My neighborhood and subdivision.
Do they fairly and accurately depict your neighborhood and subdivision?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on. So you said you were standing in your driveway. When the Uber driver pulls up, where does he park?
Like in front of my house, a little bit pulled up, but it was still like very much so pretty in front of my house.
Okay. From my understanding, are you in between two houses?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If I am looking out of your, I'm sorry, if I'm looking at your house, facing your house, which house was the Uber driver closer to, the left or the right?
The left.
Is there anything in the house to the left's yard that helps you remember that?
They have a big tree out front in their yard.
And what door of the Uber was closest to the driveway or to the curb?
Closest to the curb, like towards the inside. Like door,
Would it be the
on the
driver?
passenger side, there you go.
Yes, driver or passenger side. So the passenger door was closest to you
Mhm.
and he was at the house on your left.
Yes, ma'am.
Where, did you see any other cars at that time?
No, I didn't.
Do you recall the Uber driver's name?
I'm Conrad.
And Conrad, if I could quit referring to him as Uber driver. When Conrad pulled up, what did we do?
I got in the car, I started putting my seatbelt on, and, he on his phone, he just started putting in our location where we're going and confirming that I picked me up.
And is that typical for when you get an Uber ride?
Yeah, it is.
So when you get in the car, after you put on your seatbelt, do you and Conrad have any sort of interaction? Do you talk?
He just asked for my name to make sure I was the one like getting in the car. I was on the Uber website.
And did you give him your name?
Mhm.
What is the next thing that you remember happening?
As I got in the car, I was putting on my seatbelt, and that's when I heard like two like pop sounds, like gunshots from behind me. I looked behind me after that to see what it was because it didn't register with me at first what exactly I heard. And then I looked behind me and I saw that Dominic was standing outside of his car. I presume it's a silver car that he had, and he had the gun in his hand and he was shooting at the car. The Uber.
So that was a lot of information. I'm just gonna break it up a little bit, okay?
That's
So how long after you put on your seatbelt did you hear the pop pops?
maybe a couple seconds. It happened pretty quickly.
In that moment that you heard the pop pop, what were you thinking?
Honestly, I was in a state of shock. It didn't register me like to me initially like what it was until I turned around. And then as soon as I turned around and I realized that's when, sorry if I'm like talking too much. But as soon as I had realized what it was, I kind of just like, I just told the Uber driver like, oh my God, like, could you please drive? And I remember I ducked down too, just because that was my initial response to have.
Let's take it just a little bit slower. So you turned around. What did you see when you turned around?
I saw Dominic, didn't have anything on.
Do you recall what he was wearing?
A black hat and a black shirt.
Did you see anything in his hands?
Again,
Do you recall what the gun looked like?
it was maybe a pistol. It was like a smaller kind of gun.
Was it something that could fit, like in your hand, or was it a bigger than that weapon?
Like in your hand.
So you hear the pop pop, turn around, you see Dominic. Where is he?
He's on the driver's side of the car and he kind of has the door open, like as it was like acting as like a shield or something, and his arm was like above the door of the car.
And what color was his car?
Silver.
Okay. And is his car facing towards your car or towards the Uber car?
Yeah, it's facing towards the Uber.
And where was he? Was he behind the door?
He was behind the door.
And that's what you saw when you looked back after you first heard the pops.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. After you look back and you see this, you said, was his hand raised?
Yeah, it was over the door.
What did he do after that?
I believe he started approaching the car, and as soon as I noticed that, that's when I ducked down and I asked the Uber driver to just drive ahead.
Why did you duck down as he was approaching the car?
I was just afraid he was gonna keep shooting, that it was gonna come through the window or something.
Did you hear any more shots after you, or as you were ducked down?
I think I heard one more shot. 2 or 3 total.
Did you actually see him walking towards your car?
I thought it was
Did you see him shooting as he was walking towards your car?
No, I didn't see if he was shooting when he was walking towards, I just heard it.
With the gun raised still?
Yes, ma'am.
How soon after you saw him walking and you ducked down, did you hear the next shot?
Maybe quite quickly after, maybe a couple seconds again. Pretty fast altogether.
And so after you ducked down on the car, you're in the car. Did any bodily functions happen?
Yeah, not to be crass, I urinated on myself just out of fear. I was in.
Your Honor, I object to relevance.
That'll be overruled.
I also object to improper line of questioning in this phase.
All right, that'll be overruled.
So you urinated on yourself because you were scared.
Yes,
Your Honor, I would ask the prosecutor to stop testifying. Ask the
Sustained.
re-
So after that, what do you remember saying?
I was in a lot of shock initially. I was crying a lot. I was trying to do my best to explain to the Uber driver what was going on because I can imagine how confused he must have been. So I was like rambling a lot, just trying to explain the situation. I told him like that was my stepdad, and I just started just trying to explain the situation the best I could. After that, I ended up calling my brother and just like in tears telling him what happened.
Before we get to that, so as you're talking to the Uber driver and you're telling him all this, what did the Uber driver do?
He kept driving just to where I was on the way to work, so I guess he was just as much shocked as me. So we kept driving on the route that we were supposed to go on Uber, which was Volta at the time. And I was like the whole time I was just trying to explain what happened exactly. Like he was trying to listen, he was confused. I didn't know what to do, and I don't think he did either. So we had just kept driving on the same route that we were supposed to go.
At some point, were you no longer able to continue driving?
Yeah, the back, I think his back tire, it got like popped by one of the shots, and we ended up like breaking down like on the highway. So
What highway was it?
I don't remember.
So after you break down on the highway, what did you do?
I was sitting there, I know I had made a call to my brother, telling him like what had happened, and then I made a call to my dad too, letting him know what had happened as well. And we were waiting, I think that he was gonna try to call roadside assistance or 911. I'm not sure which he called first, but eventually some officers ended up like coming to the scene.
So after you are on the phone with your brother, telling him what's going on, what brother is this?
Jairus, he's my only brother.
And how old is he?
He is 19.
How old was he on October 10th of 2022?
He was 16.
Do you know where he was at
He was in the house.
8619?
Yes, ma'am.
How long were you on the phone with your brother?
Maybe like 5 minutes. I had my sister calling me too at the time, so I was kind of cycling through people calling me, just like concerned for my sister and my brother and my dad. So maybe like 5 minutes.
While you were on the phone with your brother, did you hear or talk to anyone else on that phone call?
I did hear, yes.
Okay, who did you hear?
I heard Dominic. I heard my mom as well and my brother. Like initially after it happened.
While you were on the phone?
While I was on the phone.
Okay, so just speaking about Dominic, what did you hear him say on the phone?
Honor, maybe, but
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have you take a short break, and we're going to come back at 2:55. You are not allowed to deliberate at this time. You're not allowed to discuss anything about this case at this time. You're not allowed to communicate with anyone about this case. Everything that you are to learn about this case is to come from inside the courtroom. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
All right, everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone, please be seated. And excuse me, could you take that off the board, please?
I was gonna try to play with it, do you mind?
Oh, no, I need to do something.
Okay,
Yes.
Is it on HDMI one? I believe it was HDMI two. You have written down source HDMI two. But that's for this. Yes, that's what we need. What was it on? Before you changed it? One? Oh. I'm sorry. I do think it was maybe on one. Yes.
conversation that was heard is the defendant, is that correct?
Well, I think there were some others on the conversation. So anything said by anybody else?
All right.
And Your Honor, I will just say that the witness has already testified to that without objection. And so at this
Well,
point.
if it's something that somebody else said other than the defendant, then that's going to be sustained. So as she's testifying with regards to a statement that's alleged to be made by the defendant, that is the objection for hearsay with regards to what the defendant has said is going to be overruled. Any statements made by someone other than the defendant, if there's not a exception to that or some other reason why legally it should be admitted, it's going to be sustained. All right. We're ready. They really need to fix that, but okay, I know. All right, we're ready.
All right, for the jury.
Oh, and just so everyone knows, there's no assigned seating. You can move around over there wherever you want to sit to try new seats. All right, everyone, please be seated. You're still under oath. State is still your witness.
Ms. Vila, we left off. Ms. Vila, we left off and we were talking about, you were on the phone with Jarius?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you were on the phone with Jarius, did, at any point, did you hear the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who else, if anybody, did you hear, without saying what they said, who else did you hear in the room?
My mom. My brother.
When you left the house, who was at your house?
My mom and my brother, and I don't know if Dominic was still there at that point, but I can see it.
And so on the phone, you are at 1604
Yes.
and at any point did the defendant talk to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a peace officer?
No, ma'am.
Were you asking him any questions?
No, ma'am.
So these statements that he made to you, were they initiated by you?
No, ma'am.
Were they initiated by anyone else?
No, ma'am.
What did the defendant say?
Your Honor, I would object to lack of foundation and improper predicate.
All right, that'll be overruled.
What did the defendant say?
He said that he was so sorry and that he would get rid of all the guns.
Did he apologize once or more than one time?
My recollection, just the once he just said that he was so sorry.
And after he said that he would get rid of all the guns, did he say anything else to you?
No, ma'am.
Was this what you would refer to as an open line?
What?
I guess, could you still hear other people in the background?
Oh, yes. Well, my brother got back on the phone with me and was.
Not saying what he
Mhm.
said. Did you hear the defendant after that?
No, ma'am.
After, at some point, how did that phone call end?
I believe I might have told my brother that my dad was calling me. I was just altering through phone calls between him and between my dad and my sister.
Just one moment. talk a little bit about the house, if you are looking outside of your door, okay? What is the address to your left?
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
May I approach?
Yes.
And I'm showing you what states Exhibit 1. You've already identified it. You can use it to refresh your memory, just don't read directly from it. Do you recall the address of the house next door to you?
8623.
And what is that? Is that Key North?
Key
Lake?
North,
Who lives in that house?
Our neighbors, a family, I'm not sure how many, but.
And to your knowledge, is the defendant friends with them?
Yes, ma'am.
How long, to your knowledge, has the defendant known the people in that house?
At least a year, maybe upwards of that.
And without saying, you know, what anybody else has said, does he ever talk to the people at 8623?
Yes, ma'am.
How often would he talk to them?
Your
Just
object to relevance.
What is the relevance?
And Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
In my objection, Your Honor.
Your objection will be overruled.
So how long has he known the people at 8623?
upwards of a year.
And have you seen them talking before?
Yeah.
How often would you see them talking?
Quite a few times, quite often, whenever they would be outside.
And was this like, would you describe this as like the casual, like, hey, I'm your neighbor, or was it more in depth?
I was more in depth, they'd have a conversation.
Would the defendant ever go and hang out at 8623?
I believe so.
And just to ask, do you know any of the people by name at 8623?
No,
Did you ever have any interaction with them?
no.
I want to go back to when you looked back and you saw the defendant after you heard the first 2 pops. Was he saying anything to you?
If he was, I could hear. I didn't hear.
Your Honor, I will pass the witness.
All right, defense.
Good afternoon. Ms. Satterwhite, I'm Lorraine Ephraim. You called your dad
Yes,
pretty
ma'am.
quickly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you love your dad. You wanted him there with you. Is that why you called him?
More to just let him know what was happening.
Okay. Did he show up?
Yes, later he did.
And your dad is divorced from your mom,
Yes, ma'am.
and your mom then married Dominic,
Yes, ma'am.
and you don't like him very much, do you?
Wouldn't put it that way.
Do you consider him a father?
No, ma'am.
The house next door that we're talking about, the people that live there, Black family, and the friends you're talking about are Black men.
Yes, ma'am.
who are similar in age and body type, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And they're at the house quite often. And they sometimes party in the garage or things like that. And your neighborhood it looks like a lovely neighborhood. The houses are pretty small and pretty close together. Is that fair? And you have, all of the houses were occupied, correct?
I believe so.
I mean, as far as you know, that there was no vacant homes in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've been living there since 2015, correct?
I believe so.
And so are you aware of how many times gunshots have been fired in that area?
No, ma'am.
You're not aware?
No.
Okay. When your dad arrived, did you speak with him?
I'm sorry, did I speak with it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it took the deputies a little bit of time to show up, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're at the vehicle on 1604,
Mhm.
and then who brings you back to the house?
My dad.
Okay. And when you get back to the house, at that time, Jairus
Mhm.
and your mom
Mhm.
and you were out in the front yard,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
And you were speaking with each other, correct?
Mhm.
And then officers approached and wanted to speak with you, correct?
Yes.
And they, at that point, were concerned and separated you all when they spoke to you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
In other words, they didn't let you, they saw that that you were speaking with your mom, correct?
Mhm.
And did the officers speak to everyone there?
I believe so.
Okay, okay. That would be, did your sister arrive?
Yes, both my sisters and my brother, they all arrived around the house.
Do you remember them arriving before law enforcement?
I wasn't there when they got there. By the time I arrived back at the house, they were already there, so I'm not sure.
When you arrived back, law enforcement was already there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't really know how long it took for law enforcement to get there, correct? And the distance between, say, your front door and the street, it's not a great distance, is it?
No.
And, well, it's a lovely neighborhood. It's not it's a small front yard, correct? And all of the homes have small front yards, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you came out of the house and got waited for the Uber driver, you didn't see anyone, correct?
No, ma'am.
And when you got into the car with the Uber driver, you didn't see anyone then, did you?
No, I wasn't looking.
Okay, all right. Well, he was parked kind of in front of your house, right? Just like a little bit closer on the neighbor's side, but in front of your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't see anybody when you got into his car, correct?
No.
I'll pass the witness at this time, Your Honor.
Yes. State.
Yes, Your Honor. The neighbors at 8623, defense was saying they were similar in age to the defendant. Did they also have children at that house?
I believe so, like teenagers.
And those would not be similar in age to the defendant?
No,
You know how old the defendant is?
no, I don't.
And I just wanted to clarify, when the defense counsel was asking you about partying in the garage, was that at your residence or at 8623?
There's 86, 17.
How often would they party together?
I'm not too sure, honestly. Yeah, if I had to guess, like, maybe a couple times every other month. I'm not sure.
So this wasn't like an everyday thing?
No, it wasn't every day.
Now when you were at the 1604 location,
Mhm.
after the car had gotten a flat tire, the deputies. Can you clarify, when did your dad arrive?
It was when the officers arrived at 1604, they drove me to a meeting point, with my dad. It was some parking lot and like a shopping center. I don't remember exactly, but that's when my dad arrived there, but I was already in the police car making my statement to one of the officers.
So you had already spoken to officers before your dad even arrived? at the
Yes,
scene.
ma'am.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense?
You have you seen the neighbors party in the garage with the garage door open?
Yes,
And when you arrived back at the house, their garage door was open, correct?
I don't really remember.
I have nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Your Honor, this witness would be subject to recall from the state.
All right, you may be excused, but remember that you're subject to recall. Just make sure you're available if either party wishes to recall you as a witness. Thank you. State, call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the state calls up our deputy in Rodriguez.
Okay, all right, you may step down. Thank you. If you can raise your right hand for me. Solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please, and spell your last name.
Deputy Reina Rodriguez, Rodriguez.
All right, state.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I say state, I mean for them to ask the questions. That's fine. Plenty of people just said Texas. I'm like, no. All right. Yeah. State, you may proceed.
Thank you. Hi, Deputy Rodriguez. So, Deputy Rodriguez, how are you employed?
To the Bear County Sheriff's Office.
And with the Bear County Sheriff's Office, what is your current assignment?
I'm assigned to patrol on the east side.
What does that mean?
I patrol the east side of Bear County, the far east side.
And I guess to be more specific, what are your duties on patrol?
I respond to calls that I'm dispatched to, like 911 calls, whatever I'm dispatched to. If I'm flagged down, I respond to whoever needs assistance.
So if somebody calls into 911 needing officer assistance, how do you get assigned?
Dispatch will assign us. It'll come out on our key card. They'll assign whatever unit is closer, and that's how we get dispatched.
Okay. And that's to any scene that you make, that's the process.
Yes.
How long, I'm not sure if I asked, how long have you been with the BCSO, Bear County Sheriff's Office?
Going on 10 years now.
And you said you were on patrol for 5 years?
Yes.
What did you do before patrol?
I was assigned to the detention side at the jail.
Okay, does that mean you were like one of the officer or one of the deputies in the jail?
Yes.
Okay. And are you a certified peace officer?
Yes.
What does it take to become a certified peace officer?
You have to go to school. I went to school about, I would say it was 9 months. I went to San Antonio College to get my peace officer license.
And in order to get on patrol, are there any certifications or tests or anything you have to complete?
Yes.
Can you walk us through that?
You take a written exam. Once you pass the written exam, you get scheduled for a physical test, a PT test, which consists of sit-ups, push-ups, running. And then from there, once you pass that, you get scheduled to go do an IRB, which is an interview review board. Once you do that and you pass, then you get put on a list, and you just wait to go out to patrol.
Okay, and is there like an academy that you guys attend?
Yes.
What do you learn at that academy, just briefly?
Policy, law, penal code. We do reality-based training as well. Just what ifs on certain calls that we might get, stuff like that, traffic.
And after you get out of the academy, are you just on patrol, or do you have any sort of like OJ on the job training?
We have field training. We're assigned to an FTO, field training officer. We're on that for quite a while.
How long is quite a while?
It will be approximately 14 weeks. 14
When did you complete that?
in 2020.
So I want to direct your attention to this case. Do you recall what date this occurred on?
October 10th,
Do you recall of what year?
2022.
And what were you doing right before this call?
I was at a alarm residence call, and that's where I was at before I got dispatched.
What was that address?
I don't remember.
Would it help refresh your memory if you had a copy of your report in front of you?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 3. Do you recognize that? What is it? Yeah, you can just refresh your memory. Don't redirect with me. Do you have a moment to refresh your memory?
Yes.
What address were you at previously?
Your Honor, I would object to relevance.
All right, I'm sorry. Could you re-ask your question?
What address was she at right before this? And the relevance, Your Honor, is it was moments before this call. We can approach if you'd like, Judge.
No, I mean, that's going to be sustained
Well,
unless you can lay some foundation for it to be relevant.
Yes, Your Honor, if I could just ask the next question.
Sure.
While you were on that call, did you hear anything?
Yes.
What did you hear?
I heard gunshots.
Okay. How did you know they were gunshots?
Well, through my training and experience on patrol and responding to calls, they were identified as gunshots.
And how far away was the neighborhood you were at to where you were dispatched?
It wasn't too far. It was pretty close if I heard it.
And so as soon as you heard those gunshots, do you recall how many you heard?
What I can remember, approximately six gunshots.
And are you positive or are you rounding or?
Kind of rounding.
I just wanted to clarify that. So after you hear several gunshots, what do you do?
I leave where I'm at and I go to my car to see if anything came up on the key card, which then it would appear that there was
And what is the key card, just so we can understand?
a key card is where dispatch displays the type of call we're getting dispatched to or what's pending to go respond to, and it has notes that they put in it.
And so the neighborhood you were at being so close, I guess, let me back up. What address were people being dispatched to?
For the shooting,
Yes.
Key North. Oh my God, Key North. Key North Way.
And do you recall the numbers of that street?
It was, no,
I'm sorry, the numbers of the house.
where we got dispatched.
Yes.
We got dispatched to 8623. That's where we originally got dispatched.
Okay. So 8623. Would you like to take a moment to refresh your memory with your report? And what was the address that you were?
8619.
8619, okay. So you were dispatched to 8619. How long did it take you to get there?
Not long, just a few minutes.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about the key card that you were telling us about. Do you recall what time you were dispatched?
No.
Okay. So that key card, is that something that happens in every case?
Yes,
Okay. And on that key card, does it tell you what time you were dispatched?
yes,
And on that key card, does it tell you what time you arrived?
yes.
Okay. And would it help refresh your memory if you saw that key card? Right, I'm showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 27. Do you recognize this? What's, what is it?
It's a detailed report of what is entered into our key card.
So if you could refresh your memory, just don't read directly from it. Can you tell me what time you were dispatched or?
Twelve 38.
Okay, and what time did you arrive? Just so I can make sure, does it describe y'all by unit numbers here?
By our call sign,
And what is your call sign?
140.
So that would be 1A40? 1A40. And so about what, how many minutes is that? So about 4 minutes, 5 minutes?
Four minutes.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So it took you about 4 minutes to get there. When you arrived at the scene, can you tell us what time of day it was?
It was daytime. I just know it was in the afternoon. Cause it was close to me It was close to the time I get off shift.
And what time do you get off shift?
That day I was getting off at 2.
So it was before 2 p.m.
It was before 2 p.m.
And what was the weather like outside?
It was sunny. I remember it was sunny. Dry. Kind of hot, but not really too hot.
So no fog or
No fog, no rain.
And what address did you arrive at?
8619.
And when you got to that address, what was your main focus when you arrived?
To make sure everyone's okay, make sure nobody was hurt.
And when you arrived, what did you do as soon as you arrived?
Since I arrived, I saw people outside, which was the neighbors. Well, neighbors, and that's when I started asking questions like, what happened, what's going on?
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Deputy Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's been marked as States Exhibits 4 and 5. Do you recognize these?
Yes,
What are they?
this is the house of the neighbors. And this is the house of the.
Okay, and do they fairly and accurately depict how these houses looked on that day as you arrived? Do they fairly and accurately depict how the
Yeah.
houses and everything looked?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, state would offer to admit States Exhibits 4 and 5.
No objection, Judge.
All right, States Exhibit number 4 and 5 are admitted.
In this old school way. Copy, sir. As you arrived on scene, you said you saw people.
Yes, ma'am.
What house were they in front of?
They were in front of the brown house,
Not the brick house.
not the brick house.
Okay. What were they? Can you describe them for us?
They were just standing there.
How many people?
Approximately like 4 to 5 people outside.
And you recall what they were wearing?
Like out of just what I remember, or dark clothing. One of them had light clothing.
And we may get back to that in just a little bit. So after you arrived out at the scene, did you ask them, or what did you ask them?
I asked them what happened, if anybody saw anything, they heard anything. They said yes.
And did they what did they tell you that helped lead your investigation at that point?
Your Honor, I would object to hearsay.
And Your Honor, I'm not using this for the truth of the matter asserted, but just so we could talk about her next actions and why she did the actions that she did.
All right, the question will be, the objection, I'm sorry, will be sustained. You can ask her what her next actions were.
So based off of what the people at 8623 told you, what was your understanding of the crime scene at that moment?
That the person involved was next door, because they pointed me next door.
After were you looking for any evidence at that point?
Yes,
What were you looking for?
shell casings.
Did you have any reason to believe that some of the people involved were no longer at the scene?
I didn't think anybody was there.
Okay. And without saying what anybody told you, but was that based off the information you received?
Yes.
After you finished speaking with the people at 8623, did you encounter anybody else
Yes,
Who did you encounter?
two females approached me
Where were they approaching you from?
from the sidewalk.
And was this the sidewalk that was connected to 8619 or was for the other side of the road?
No, on the other side of the road.
Okay. And how many houses down were they walking from?
They were coming from the next street.
So like a block over?
Yeah, not even a block over.
Okay. And did they have any information that you found valuable?
No.
Okay. Was it your impression that they saw anything?
No.
Okay. So after you spoke with those two, you said it was two women?
Yes,
After you spoke with those two women, what was your main focus?
trying to figure out, well, looking for evidence. Like I was doing at the same time when I was talking to them, looking for evidence
Where were you looking for evidence?
on the street, sidewalk.
And was that also based off the information you received from the people at 8623?
Yes,
At some point, you go to 8619.
yes.
Why did you, without saying what anybody told you, but why did you go there?
That's where I was directed.
Is that the address you were dispatched?
Yes,
And when you went to 8619, who was there? Who entered the door?
a woman.
Did you identify that woman?
Yes,
Who did you identify her as?
she was the wife. Do I say her name? Or-
You can say her name. Did you identify her?
Yes,
Okay, who did you identify her as?
Lakeisha
And was there a last name?
Nicholson.
And do you recall what her demeanor was like?
She was real nervous, like jittery.
And how could you tell that?
When she was speaking to me, her voice was a little shaky.
Was she, without saying what she said, was she making sense?
Not at first.
And what do you mean she wasn't making sense?
Just like when I was asking her what happened, she didn't know what was going on. Like if she didn't hear anything or she just wasn't making sense.
Okay. When you spoke to her, did you, after you were speaking to her, what did you ask her?
I've asked her if anybody was in the house.
Was anybody else in the house?
She said yes.
Okay. And who else was in the house, from your understanding at this time?
Your Honor, I would object to hearsay.
Sustained.
Did you identify anybody else in the house?
Yes.
Who did you identify in the house?
Your Honor, I would object. It's hearsay and it's improper foundation. She has no knowledge for who else is in the house.
Your Honor. Would you like me to ask the next question?
With regards to the defense's objection, that will be sustained unless you lay the foundation that she has personal knowledge of who was in the home.
Did anybody come out of the home?
Just the wife at first.
Did anybody else come out of the home after the wife?
Yes,
Who was that person?
the son, her son.
Who did you identify that person as?
Jarius. Jarius.
You can refresh-
Statty White.
You can refresh your memory. What was the name?
Jarius. Statty.
And do you recall how old he was?
I don't recall how old he was. He was young. He was under 18.
And did you have an opportunity to speak to him?
Yes.
When you were speaking to him, were you able to speak to anyone else at the same time?
No.
And I guess let me rephrase my question. Did he call anybody while you were speaking with him?
Yes.
Who did he call?
This is
Okay. And what was her name?
Layla Statty White.
And on the phone call with the sister, did you receive any information about her location without telling me what that information is?
Yes.
Okay. And from the information that you received, did you notify other officers?
Yes.
And did other officers respond to a scene different from the one you were at?
Yes.
Now, at some point, when Jairus comes out or Jairus comes out of the home, did he immediately walk out? Or where did you first encounter him?
At the doorway,
At the doorway. Who else was at the doorway with him?
his mom.
Okay, and what did you ask him? Did you talk to him at the doorway?
I pulled him away.
Before you pulled him away, did you ask any questions at the doorway?
I did.
Okay, and without saying what he said, can you describe to me his demeanor after you asked him, or what, let me back up. What question did you ask?
What happened?
And after you asked that question, can you describe to me his demeanor at that time?
He was unsure of whether to respond to me or not.
And what made you believe that?
His mom was next to him.
Okay,
She was next to him.
okay. And did he make any body movements that alerted you that you may need to pull him away?
He turned to look at her.
And was that before he answered your question?
Yeah, he turned and looked at her and then he didn't say anything.
And so at that time, what did you direct him to do?
I told him he can come like to the yard with me.
So then you separated him?
Yes,
And were you able to talk to Jairus and ask him what happened?
yes.
At some point, are you alerted that there are other people in the house?
Yes.
And who else was in the house?
Your Honor, again, object to lack of knowledge and hearsay.
All right. You're not allowed to say what anyone else told you. If you have personal knowledge through your investigation, you can answer the question. Defense's objection will be sustained.
Who else was in the house?
Your Honor, same question, same objection.
Do you have personal knowledge of who was in the home?
No.
All right, that objection will be sustained.
Or Deputy Rodriguez, did you talk to anybody else in the home?
Yes.
Okay. And
You may ask the question.
thank you. Who did you talk to?
Nicholson.
Okay, so you did know that somebody else was in the home.
No, Your Honor, I object. That's not what she said. She's leading her witness. And she's already told this jury she didn't know who was in the house.
All right, that objection will be overruled. I'm going to ask that you listen to the question and just answer the question. And to the court reporter, can you read back the state's last question, please?
Who did you talk to?
All right, that's the question. Any objections to that question?
I do not object to the question, who did you talk to?
All right, so you can answer that question. Who did you talk to?
Who did you talk to?
Dominic Nicholson.
When you spoke to him, what were his clothes like?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Okay, can I talk?
You can
Your
only
Honor, I object-
respond to questions that are being asked.
All right, so at some point, were you able to figure out if you spoke to everybody who was involved?
Yes.
And when you're trying to speak to these people, are you getting formal statements? Can you talk to me about the type of statement that you're trying to get from them?
They're just quick statements, just to figure out, not super detailed. Just to figure out what we have at hand and how to go further about it.
And after you collect all that information, what do you do?
I detain Dominic Nicholson.
And before that, do you call anybody?
Yes,
Who do you call?
my supervisor.
And after you call your supervisor, do they typically come to the scenes?
Yes.
At some point throughout this entire investigation, do you guys, well, let me back up. Do you guys wear body cam
Yes,
At some point throughout this entire investigation, was your body cam not working?
yes,
Why was it not working?
it died, the battery.
And when it dies, what do?
I connected to a charger in the vehicle.
You have a charger in your car?
Yes,
Okay. And how long does it take to charge up?
takes a while to get a good charge.
At some point in this investigation, were you talking to people without your body cam on?
I did, with the presence of another officer there.
So they would have the conversation on body cam.
Yes,
And then, can you identify for me who you spoke with? Not what they said, but just who you spoke with on the scene?
with Darius, Sadie White, Akeisha, Nicholson, and then Dominic.
Did you speak to, any other people? And you can refresh your memory, with your report if you like.
Just the neighbors briefly, and then the two women that are.
Okay. And the neighbors that you're referring to, that, what address would they be at?
8623.
And then on the other side of the house, on the other side of 8619, did you speak with anyone at that location?
At 8619?
Well, yes, but, the house to the left of that, 8615 would be the address.
No.
Okay, and if I could just direct your attention to your report, I believe it's gonna be page 4. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Each.
Mhm.
Oh.
Did you speak to anybody else while on scene?
Yes,
Who did you speak with?
a witness.
Your Honor, I would object. She's already asked and answered. She said she didn't speak to the neighbors next door.
This is allowed to refresh memory with the exhibit.
All right,
Well,
you
she's impeaching her own witness.
All right,
Object.
your objection will be overruled. You can answer the question.
Did you speak with anybody else?
Yes,
Who was that person?
a witness.
And do you recall his name? And you can refresh your memory from the report to you on page 6. What was his name?
Juan Antonio Melendez.
After you spoke with everybody, did you report your findings to anybody?
Yes,
Who did you report your findings to?
to my supervisor,
And who is that?
Sergeant Lugo.
And anybody else on the scene?
Yes,
Who?
the investigator,
And who is that investigator?
Guzman.
After you reported your findings to Investigator Guzman, what was your involvement in the case?
After we did that and he was detained, we just stood by till he arrived.
Till Investigator Guzman arrived? And were you guys, where were you standing by?
I was by my vehicle at that point.
What other officers were on scene with you?
Deputy J. Rodriguez,
And where was he at?
he was, I believe he was near the house of 8619.
And what was he doing near the house?
He was just standing there.
At some point, do y'all wall off the area?
Yes,
And how do you do that?
since it's a street, we usually put our vehicles to block far out as far as we need to, and we'll put up crime scene.
And I want to go back to when you first arrived. Out of the people from 8623, I can, oh, Your Honor.
Yes.
May I collect the state's exhibits 4 and 5 from the notice? Looking at state's exhibit 5. How many people do you see outside of 8623?
Five,
And can you describe to me their clothing?
dark clothing, black shirt, black, shorts,
The individual closest to 8619, what is he wearing?
white t-shirt and white shorts.
Witness, Your Honor.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
May I take a look at the report that you're refreshing your memory with? Is that correct? Is that correct? 6 pages?
6,
6 pages? Okay. And a lot of information on that report, is that fair to say?
I'm sorry,
Is it fair to say a lot of information is in that report?
yes.
And why do you write a report?
To describe the details of what happened on the scene,
Okay. And to record information for what purpose?
record information that was given to me, due to a crime being committed.
Okay, well, you're investigating an alleged crime, correct? And part of your duty is to collect evidence, possible evidence relating to the alleged crime, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you have many individuals listed in your report, correct? Some of the people you described.
yes.
Okay. Where are the names of the neighbors that you spoke to?
I didn't gather that information.
Okay. And there was what, 7 of them?
5,
5? Well, 5 at the house, plus the 2 ladies.
yes, 7.
Where are their names?
I didn't get that information.
And when Lakeisha came to the door, she could have been just roused from sleep, correct?
Objection to speculation, Your Honor.
All right. That'll be sustained.
But Your Honor, she asked about Lakeisha's demeanor and how she appeared. So I would urge that some line of questioning with regard to her demeanor would be
We're
relevant.
allowed to ask questions about her demeanor, but not what she thought her demeanor meant.
Okay, okay. What did she? Did she tell you that she was running a fever?
No.
I'll pass the witness at this time, Judge.
State?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Deputy Rodriguez, when you arrived at the scene and you saw the people outside 8623, why didn't you gather their information?
I was trying to determine at the time, what was going on so I can start investigating there. I didn't gather the information. I don't know if somebody else did, honestly, but I was just trying to figure out what was going on and go to the active scene where actually everything occurred to get that done.
And earlier, is that because you said your main, earlier, is that because your main focus is making sure nobody's injured?
Yes.
And when you arrived at 8623, what was their demeanor like?
They were calm, just standing around.
And what did that indicate to you?
Your Honor, I object to speculation.
Sustained.
Well, Your Honor, this is her interpretation of their action.
No,
not what They were.
All right, so everyone. Just make your objections. I'll make my ruling. The
Yes, sir.
objection is sustained.
Was anybody indicating to you that they were injured?
No,
Their demeanor, you said, was calm?
Yes.
Okay. As an officer, with your training and experience, what does that, are you focused on that situation?
no.
And as for the two ladies that walked up, why didn't you get their information?
They said they only heard.
Okay,
Where they said where they lived on the other side. They didn't see.
okay, so all they, the only, what information did they give you?
Just that they heard gunshots.
And just to clarify, those two interactions with the neighbors and with the two ladies, is that on your body cam?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense?
um. Again, the report you are reading from, that's the entirety of your report from this event, correct?
Yes.
And on, again, you did not take down any contact information for these people, did you?
Objection to asked and answered, Your Honor.
That'll be over.
With regard to the 7 individuals you spoke to, and some of that is on body cam, where did you record their contact information?
I didn't write it down.
Pass the witness at this time.
Any other questions?
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to clarify, defense was talking about everything happened is in your report. Is your report a summary of what happened? Okay, is everything that happened presumably on either your body cam or somebody else's body cam?
Your Honor, presumption is speculation and I object.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can answer the question.
Yes.
I will pass the witness, Your Honor, and the state doesn't have any.
Defense?
Why did you write the report? Because it's important, right? And you write the report because you want information available to further the investigation, right?
Yes.
And you write the report so that there's as much information as possible
Yes.
that you collect from the scene and surrounding scenes, right?
Yes.
And you write the report because you know that it could be used in a criminal prosecution, correct?
Yes.
And you would agree that that's important. That's witness.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Subject to recall from the state, Your Honor.
All right, you just need to make sure that you're available if either party decides to recall you as a witness. Thank you. State, you may call your next witness.
State calls Deputy J. Rodriguez.
All right, if you'll take a seat here, please. Stand on, please. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. Please spell your name and make sure you keep your voice raised so that the members of the jury can hear.
My name is Joseph Rodriguez.
All right,
Deputy Rodriguez, who are you employed with?
I'm employed with Bear County.
Is that the Bear County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, the Bear County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been employed there?
This month, it'll be 13 years.
And what is your current duty assignment?
My current duty assignment is a patrol deputy on the northeast side of Bear County.
And does that mean you're a certified peace officer?
Yes.
Deputy Rodriguez, I want to direct your attention to October 10th of 2022. Did you respond to any calls that day?
Yes.
Did you respond, I'm sorry, where did you respond?
I forgot the exact address.
Would it help if you had your report to refresh your memory?
Yes.
So I know it's been marked as State's Exhibit 6. If you can refresh your memory with that, just don't read directly from it. What address did you, or I'll give you a moment to refresh.
The 8619 Key North Way.
And when you responded to 8619 Key Northway, what was your objective? What were your duties?
We were dispatched there for a possible shooting. So yeah, possible try to start looking for evidence, maybe even a victim or a suspect.
And at any point, did you make your way to the actual residence of 8619?
Yes.
And when you went to the residence, who did you encounter?
That's the exact name. It's Dominic Wilkins or Dominic Nicholson.
And was he the only person there, or was there somebody else there?
There was somebody else.
Who was that person?
Lakeisha Nicholson.
And when you encountered Dominic Nicholson, where did you first see him?
I first saw him coming down the stairs.
As he was coming down the stairs, what was he doing?
He was putting on another shirt. He was putting on a shirt.
The state will pass the witness, Your Honor.
defense.
You didn't enter the house, correct?
Probably later on I did because I was securing the scene.
Okay,
But the initial I was in the doorway.
okay. So this interaction occurs outside the doorway, correct?
I was pretty much by like halfway in already at that point where
Okay.
I can see inside the house on both sides,
Okay.
to my left and to my right.
And you noticed then no bedrooms on the first floor, correct?
Correct.
I pass the witness at this time.
State.
Just very briefly, Deputy Rodriguez, how long did you stay on scene?
I stayed for a while, of course, because we were there securing the scene. So yeah, but that's mainly what I did after the initial. After we detained them, I was just really there, just staying on the scene, making sure that nobody disturbed the crime scene or anything like that.
Nope, the state will pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
When you entered the house, when you were there interacting, you didn't see anything that would have alerted you needed to enter the house right then and there, correct? For example, like an exigent circumstance.
We had been given information that
No. I'm asking you. You're standing at the door. If you had seen something, there are some circumstances when you can enter a residence without a warrant, correct?
yes,
Okay. There were no circumstances that caused you to enter without a warrant, yes or no?
yes, there was a possible shooter inside of the house that we were told that he was possibly inside.
Okay,
that
you believe
location.
based on that information, you could have entered the house without a warrant?
Yes, ma'am. a
But
possible
you didn't
shooter.
do it, did you?
And I'm sorry? I was already halfway in there, ma'am, when we were asking questions. I was gonna start searching the house, but we had been given information that the shooter was in that house.
Okay. When you spoke to them, that was the only interaction you had with them at that time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I pass the witness at this time, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Deputy Rodriguez, after you saw the defendant coming down the stairs, without saying what anybody said, did he ever go back upstairs or anywhere else in the house?
I can't recall.
Any further questions?
Your Honor, I'm just seeing. Yeah. Not from the state, actually, yes, Deputy Rodriguez, what is the Bear County Sheriff's incident number for this case?
Can I read it directly off the page?
You can refresh your memory, you just can't read directly from the page.
Um. 033-0369.
All right, and that's, may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
And just for the record, that was
Yes, this one right here.
off of State's Exhibit 27, so I just want to make sure that do you recognize this?
It's I think that's one of our, we get a copy like that too, if we open up our Visionet where we can see all the details from the call.
Is it what's called a key card?
Yes,
Okay. So you can refresh your memory with this, but I will withdraw the question for now. And the state will pass witness.
I have nothing further for Deputy Rodriguez at this time, Judge.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
This witness is excused.
Subject to recall, Judge.
All right, just make sure that you're available to testify again if either party wishes to recall you. You may step down. State, call your next witness.
State calls Deputy Tibbs.
You'll take a seat here, please. Would you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah, so sounds like, whoa. All right, if you'll raise your right hand, let me redo that. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear. And if you'll state your name for the record.
Deputy Jason Tibbs.
All right, state.
Deputy Tibbs, how are you employed?
I work for Bear County Sheriff's Office.
And what do you do for Bear County Sheriff's Office?
I work in the crime scene unit.
And as the crime scene unit, what are your duties typically?
I get called out to crime scenes. I collect evidence. I take photographs. I do video. We do a Leica scanner out there on major scenes. After that, I bring the evidence back to my office where it's packaged and placed in the property room.
I want to direct your attention to this case. What date, or I'm sorry, where were you dispatched to? What was the first location?
Can I have a report to refer back to, please?
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 28. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can refresh your memory, just don't read directly from it. What location were you dispatched to initially?
The original location was 8619 Key North Way, Key North Way.
And is that the location that you went to first?
No, it is not.
What is the location that you went to first?
I was redirected over to Pat Booker Road and 1604 on 1604 at the bridge.
And when you were redirected there, did you know what you were what type of scene you were going to?
Yes, I was told that I needed to make contact with the victim's vehicle to photograph damage and photograph the two victims.
And when you arrived at that location, did you encounter the vehicle in question?
Yes, I did.
How would you describe that vehicle?
It was a vehicle with license plate number GH56 Bravo November.
And when you were there, or when you got there, did you notice any defects on it?
Yes, there was a flat tire.
After you noticed the flat,
I took photographs of both of the victims that were in that vehicle.
May I approach?
Yes. I know what you're approaching about.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me have you all step out in the hallway just for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, and jury. Now to use the word could. You can only refer to the parties either as complainants or by their name.
Okay,
Because it has not been established if there's a victim.
okay. Understood.
Yes.
Your Honor, I believe that their violation of the motion in limine constitutes a violation of my client's constitutional rights to a fair trial and due process. And I would ask the court to exclude this witness.
and Your Honor, I do believe a different remedy would be just limiting instruction to the jury, and excluding this officer or this deputy's evidence is an extreme prejudice to the state's case. And the state would just ask that you give a limiting instruction to the jury about the use of the word victims.
So the motion or the request to exclude the witness and the witness's testimony, that will be denied. Defense, would you like for me to give the jury an instruction? And what I can tell you is instruction would be to the jury, if both parties agree, is that there has to be an establishment that there was a victim.
Okay, first of all, I requested this trial based on the violation of my constitutional right.
Right, that will be denied.
Okay, second of all, do I want a limiting instruction on it?
As it relates to the word hit or not. I can ask them to disregard the witness's last answer to the last question.
That would be my preference.
So I'll ask them to disregard witness's last answer and state, you need to instruct your remaining witnesses.
We just did, Your Honor. My apologies on that.
All right, let's bring the jurors in. Okay.
Your, do you need a restroom break?
I can keep one.
Your Honor, may we have a quick restroom break?
Sure.
I-
Is there any objections to me letting the jurors know that we're gonna take a short break for everyone to?
Not from the
Please,
stage.
President Williams.
No.
It will come from me.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
they don't want any other.
So we'll go on a brief recess. Any objection to me letting the jurors know?
No,
No, Judge.
Thank you.
You need to move around. the last answer of this witness. Does everyone understand? All right, state.
Thank you. Deputy Tibbs, after you left from 1604 and Pat Booker, what location did you go to?
I returned back to, I went to 8619 Key North Way.
Okay, and while you were there, did you perform any tests? Or I guess, did you perform any tests on anyone?
Yes, I did. I collected GSR.
And can you explain what that is, what that is real quick?
It's the use of a dauber to collect gunshot residue off of hands.
Okay, and what's the process for that?
You follow the instructions provided in the envelope. You fill out the outside of the envelope. You fill out a questionnaire inside of the envelope. I'm already wearing gloves. I put on another set of gloves before actually collecting or using the daubers, and then place the daubers back inside the bag and put in a seal on it and sign that seal.
And where do you, on the hands, like what is the actual process of collecting the gunshot residue?
Okay, it's got a sticky side on it, so whenever I open it up, you do a twist along the inside of the palm, on the finger, and then outside and around, and it's kind of a twist motion on the skin.
And may I approach Judge?
Yes.
Deputy Tibbs, I'm showing you what's marked as State Exhibit 29. What is this?
This is going to be my GSR kit.
Okay, and how do you know that?
I have my initials on the back, and I recognize my writing on the front of it.
Okay, thank you very much. I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
No questions at this time, Your Honor.
Oh,
Well,
I do just want to ask a follow-up question.
Yes.
Deputy Tibbs. I apologize. Can you tell me exactly what you write on this outside package?
Okay, I write the subject's name, Dominic Nicholson. I write down my name, J Tibbs, my badge number, 348. The agency name is BCSO, and then my case number, which is 2022 BCSO 021094.
And that case number, is that unique to each individual case that you are assigned to?
Yes, that is correct.
Now the state will pass the witness.
All right. Defense.
at this time, no questions, Your Honor.
All right. Is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Subject to recall, Your Honor.
All right. So does anybody wish to invoke the rule?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the rule will be invoked. What that means is you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state or the defense. And you're not allowed to view anything with regards to this case. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, thank you. State, call your next witness.
State calls Leslie Duffy.
And she is connecting to audio. All right, if you could unmute yourself to the witness that is on the screen. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, and if someone can adjust the monitor. And defense,
Okay, thank you, Judge. I don't want to put it on because I know it'll reverberate.
defense, are you able to see?
I am. I may stand.
All right, and Mr. Nicholson, are you able to see? And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you able to see?
Yes. Yes.
Right. This is a witness that is appearing by Zoom, and this witness is not in person. Any objections to this witness appearing by Zoom, state?
Not from the state judge.
Defense, do you have any objection to this witness appearing by Zoom?
The defense has no objection to this witness appearing by
All
Zoom.
right, and Mr. Nicholson, do you have any objection to this witness appearing by Zoom?
I have no objection.
All right. If you'll state your name for the record, please.
My name is Leslie Chapey, and it's spelled Leslie, and the last name is Tschoepe.
All right, and you've been sworn in. State, you may ask your questions.
Can you please repronounce your last name?
Yes, it is Chapey.
Chapey. Thank you.
Mhm.
What is your occupation?
I am a forensic scientist at the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office
And how long have you been employed there?
since April 1st of 2024
Where were you employed previously?
at the Bear County Criminal Investigation Laboratory.
Okay. And how long were you employed there?
Just over 5 years.
And as part of your duties there, what was your job title at the Bear County Criminal Investigations Laboratory?
I was a forensic scientist in the chemistry section where I performed both primer gunshot residue analysis as well as drug identification.
And can you tell us what primer gunshot residue analysis is?
Do you mean how I test for it or just what it is in general?
Just a brief description of what that means.
I am testing for the presence of primer gunshot residue, which contains the elements of lead, barium, and antimony.
And what are your, what type of education do you have to be able to do that?
I have a bachelor's of science in chemistry from Baylor University and a master's of science in forensic science from Sam Houston State University.
And after you've received those degrees, is there any certifications that you have to hold in order to become a forensic scientist that tests for primer or for gunshot residue?
Yes, in the state of Texas, I have to be licensed by the Texas Forensic Science Commission.
Okay. And what does that entail?
That entails having to pass a test and to obtain continuing education hours to recertify every 2 years.
Okay. And is that like continuing education specifically towards gunshot residue testing?
I am no longer licensed in that field. I was at the time of testing because my current employment does not offer primer gunshot residue.
Understand. So let's go back to the time of testing. For this case, can you tell us what the Criminal Investigations Laboratory case number was?
May I refer to my notes?
Yeah, and Ms. Shapey, are you referring to your report?
Yes.
How many pages is your report?
Well, I was taking things from the discovery packet, but I can take from just the actual report, which is 2 pages.
Okay, we just want to make sure that we're all looking at the same thing.
Okay.
Can you give me the date of the report?
Yes, it was on January 9th, 2023.
Okay. And reported by, is that your signature on the report?
Yes, ma'am.
And the Criminal Investigations Laboratory case number, what is that?
It is 22-06306.
And that case number, is that unique to each individual case that you forensically examine?
Yes.
And is there also an agency case number that is associated with this report?
Yes.
And what is that agency case number?
It is 220-21094.
Okay. And when you receive evidence, how does it come to you?
So the agency will submit the evidence to the evidence receiving section, and upon submission, the evidence receiving section will process it into the system. And that is where the CIL number, or the criminal investigation laboratory number, is assigned. And from there, when the evidence is ready to be tested, it is collected from the evidence receiving section by myself.
Okay, and so in this case, did you collect the evidence that is the subject of this report?
Yes.
And may I approach Judge?
Yes.
Are you able to see this?
Yes, I'm trying to make it bigger. Okay, there we go. Okay, yes.
Oh, well, thank you.
We're gonna raise it up a little bit. No, raise it up too.
Okay,
Thank you.
is that the CIL number?
Yes.
Okay, and then just moving it down a little bit, are your initials on this package?
Those are not my exact ones.
Okay.
Yes, those are my initials.
Okay, and is that where you would initial them when you receive the evidence?
That is when I am done with the evidence and in closing the case is when I put that date and initial on there.
Okay. Now, for this case, can you walk us through what gunshot residue testing is, the process?
Yes. May I use a demonstrative aid?
Yes.
So I am looking for the presence of primer gunshot residue. And so when a trigger on a firearm gets pulled, it strikes the primer cap, which here on this bullet aid is the silver part right here. This is the primer cap. And this primer cap contains shock sensitive chemicals. So when the firing pin strikes that, it causes an explosion. And that buildup of heat and pressure is what ignites the gunpowder and helps push the bullet down the barrel. But what I'm focused on is what's inside the primer cap. And so the primer cap contains these metals, and upon that explosion, they vaporize. And those vapors then will escape from any hole in the weapon, such as the end of the barrel, or if there's a hole in the ejector port, or if there's just any non-airtight hole. And so when they escape, it's almost like a cloud. An example I like to use is when LeBron James throws chalk up in the air, and you watch how the particles will slowly fall and have forces acted upon them. And so GSR is similar. When it escapes as a vapor from the weapon, it will then condense and cool into a particle containing metals. And those metals will have forces acted upon them that will cause them to float around and move around in the air until they land on a surface, such as hands or anything in the vicinity or clothing. And I'm looking for those particles that contain any combination of lead, barium, or antimony.
Okay. And when you are, I guess as you described, it's that big cloud that explodes. Are those particles visible to the naked eye?
No.
Okay. Are there any circumstances that may diminish the possibility of those particles on something or someone?
Your Honor, I would object to relevance.
All right, what is the relevance?
Your Honor, the relevance is having the expert explain why there may not be gunshot residue in a particular case.
All right, that'll be overruled.
Again, I would urge an objection as to speculation, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be overruled.
So Ms. Shapey, if you
If you'll re-ask your question, please.
yes. Are there any circumstances, or can you describe to us any circumstances that may diminish the possibility of collecting gunshot residue from a particular surface or person?
Yes, it's possible due to persistence, or just say, for example, on hands, just everyday movement can cause GSR to be lost, as well as hand washing can cause GSR to be lost, or as well as transfer or touching objects and stuff like that can cause GSR to be lost.
So if you're touching a bunch of different objects, that could diminish any possible GSR on a person's hand.
It's possible.
Okay. And I want to talk to you about the type of results that you may actually report on your report. What are those options for you?
It depends on if I find GSR versus if I do not find GSR.
And let's say if you find GSR, what do you state?
It would, after stating how many particles and of what type were found, it would state that based on the morphology and the composition of those particles, it is possible for whoever or whatever was tested to have been to have discharged a firearm, handled a discharged firearm, or was in close proximity to a discharging firearm.
And I want to talk a little bit about that language you used. You say it is possible. Are you able to definitively say from testing whether,
I would object at this particular point to this testimony.
And what is the objection?
Well, I don't,
I'm sorry?
she hasn't spoken as to the results of this test. And she's giving opinions about it.
and Your Honor, I'm asking in a general sense about any test.
All right, the objection will be overruled.
May I ask the court reporter to read back my question?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about that language you use. You say it's possible. Are you able to definitively say from testing whether, and then what was the-
Are you able to definitively say from testing whether somebody handled a firearm or not handled a firearm?
I cannot distinguish which of the three options. Those are just the three most likely reasons GSR would be found on a sample.
And I guess let me clarify my question. Even if you found particles, because would you be able to say that that person or object did come into contact with a firearm?
Again, it would be one of the three possibilities. Those are the three most likely, whether they discharged, handled, or were in close proximity to a discharging firearm.
Correct. And are you able to definitively say whether they discharged, handled, or was in close proximity?
Yes, based on the,
Excuse me. That objection will be sustained.
What was the objection?
That's an answer.
What was the objection? I'm sorry, I didn't hear either.
Asked and answered, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And to clarify, do you have options? So if you did find particles on an object or a person, what is the result of that?
I would state how many particles were found or that I confirmed. And then it would be based on the morphology and elemental composition of those particles. The sample or the subject, whatever it was, may have discharged a firearm, handled a discharged firearm, or were in close proximity to a discharging firearm.
And I want to focus on the may have. That's what I'm asking. You say may have. Why do you use that language?
Because it could be one of the three.
I see. Okay. And if there are no particles, what is your answer?
Then it is I would state that there were no particles found on the samples that were tested. And then the statement is, it is indeterminate if the sample or subject discharged a firearm, handled a discharged firearm, or was in close proximity to a discharging firearm.
Why do you say it is indeterminate?
Because I cannot say whether they did or did not do it.
Why not?
Because it is indeterminate because I did not find any particles.
And does, okay. And so even if you find no particles, it's indeterminate whether they handled a firearm, discharged, or were in close proximity.
Yes.
And in this case, did you test the gunshot residue kit that you identified earlier?
Yes.
Okay. And were you able to find any particles?
May I refer to my notes again?
Yes.
No, there were no microscopic particles containing any combination of lead, barium, or antimony detected.
And so there being no particles, what is your conclusion?
It is indeterminate if Dominic Dimitri Nicholson discharged a firearm, handled a discharged firearm, or was in close proximity to a discharging firearm.
Okay. No further, or I'll pass the witness.
you described there's three categories and it's just indeterminate. Your conclusion is indeterminate, correct?
Yes,
Okay. But scientifically, the fact is there was no GSR found on Mr. Nicholson, correct?
there was no particles found, correct.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Any further questions?
Not for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Excused from the state.
Yeah, excused.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone or view anything about this trial. The only persons you're allowed to speak to, if you need to speak to someone, are attorneys for the state and attorneys for the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our,
I'm sorry, may we approach, Your Honor?
yes. Bring in your next witness.
State calls investigator Mike Jennings.
Mike Jennings. Mike Jennings.
All right, if you take a seat here, please. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can have a seat if you'll state your name for the record.
If you don't need to enter it into evidence, it's to.
Your Honor, may I take the witness on Fort Dyer?
Yes. Do you want to take the witness on voir dire outside the presence of the jury?
May I have a minute to confer with
Yes.
prosecutor, Your Honor?
There's a whole other person that they're talking about in this entire investigation. And it's relevant.
Okay, I'll withdraw the request, Your Honor.
All right, if you can state your name for the record, please.
Yes, ma'am. Sergeant Michael
Let's take
Jennings.
State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Investigator Jenny, how are you employed?
I'm a DA investigator with the DA's office here.
And how long have you been working as an investigator?
I've been here since July, but I was a investigator up in Williamson County, up in Georgetown, from my retirement in Austin at 2021 till February of 24.
And as an investigator with the district attorney's office, what are your duties?
A lot of it's research, finding people that we need to find, serving subpoenas that we need to serve, digging up evidence from agencies and that kind of thing. But that's the majority of it.
Did you serve subpoenas for anyone in this particular case?
Just one person, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who was that subpoena for?
As Mr. Conrad Dorn.
Okay, and where did you serve him at?
I would object to the relevance of where he was served.
All right, that'll be sustained.
And Your Honor, may we approach on that?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. And he's a victim. You have to establish why he's not here. And he's served in the hospital. Very much. We just-
You can step back. All right, what's your question?
Where was he at?
Investigator Jennings, where did you serve Mr. Dorn at?
At Brook Army Medical Center.
Okay, and where was he inside the hospital?
Your Honor, again, I would object to
That
that.
will be sustained.
When you saw him, what was his condition?
When you saw him, what was his condition?
Your Honor, I would object.
What's the grounds for objection?
This is why he was.
I would object as relevance, hearsay, and speculation.
All right, you're allowed to testify to what you saw, but you're not allowed to testify to anything that anyone said.
Yes, ma'am.
What did
You may
see?
proceed.
What did you see?
I saw that Mr. Dorn had had his left leg amputated.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Defense?
No, Your Honor.
No questions?
No.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
He's excused from the state.
Excuse.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state or the defense, and you're not allowed to do anything in regards to this trial. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, thank you. You
Thank
may
you.
step down.
Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to recess for today. I'm going to have you all back here on Friday at 9:30. If you arrive at 9, there should be parking because no jurors are called up on Friday unless someone specially requests jurors to be called up on that day. You are not allowed to think about this case unless you are inside this courtroom. You are not allowed to talk about this case, deliberate amongst yourselves, or view anything about this case or do any type of investigation. If you see anything regarding this case, you're to immediately stop viewing it. If someone has questions for you, you are allowed to tell them that you're on a jury, but you're not allowed to discuss anything that you've heard in this courtroom. Does everyone understand? All right, so I will see you all back tomorrow at 9:30. Everyone, please rise for the jurors.